Taurus. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Taurus, this is going to be a general yearly reading for 2025. And in today's reading, I'm going to focus on three big areas of your life this year because it's really going to be a transformative year for all the signs, for the collective. And so I'm going to first of all focus on getting your power back and look at some of the blocks that are in the way of that happening. I'm also going to look at moving towards the more authentic you. And again, we're going to look at some blocks that are coming up for that. And finally, we're going to look at how you can move toward your true purpose, your creative purpose, and taking that small little step to do what you want to do. And that's something maybe that you've wanted to do for a long time and you just haven't had the courage to do it. So we're going to look at what's blocking you from doing it. So I'm going to put you on speed shuffle right now. It's going to be less than a minute probably. And yeah, well, I set out all your cards for you. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, Taurus, I'm back on. It takes a bit. I'm being guided to look at your oracle card that I pulled for you right now. Just as an overriding energy here for this reading. And then I'm going to pull at the end their spirit animal. I've already pulled it in a dark goddess for you from this deck. And yeah, your spirit animal comes from this deck right here, the spirit animal oracle deck. So let's look at, before I start your reading, let's look at this shaman's oracle for you and just to kind of see where this is taking us. So we have Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. So this is about what lights you up, experiencing life as it comes, seeking the essence, but not knowing the form. The Drifter invites you to step out of your to-do list and your ordinary routine to feel the breeze against your skin, calling you to follow the wind and explore life's opportunities. When the Drifter appears, it's a sign that it's time to cut the mooring lines holding you to the dock. It's not important to know the destination before you set sail. It will become clear as you leave port. Do not wait for a map, as there are none to where you are destined to go. But be sure that you do have a compass to keep you true. Yours is your pure love and your intention to be free, even of your own beliefs and perceptions. So even as you let your mind wander, releasing it to go on a daily walkabout, call it back home regularly to deliver news from the cosmos. The Drifter helps you find what you are looking for, even when you didn't think you were seeking anything. What an amazing card for you to get. Just kind of like calling you back to yourself, calling you back to a grounding place all the time, calling you back to who you are and finding your true essence and not so much having a plan with it. So we're going to see where this takes us. It's almost like a card that says, a big card that says trust in the process is what I'm hearing here. So, and then I'll call in, I'll look at your other two cards. So let's start off with your reading. So I have three big areas, like I said, that I'm looking for. We're going to start off with the power. How you're going to so actually what we're going to start off with is in your outer world right here. And then there's another part, which is your inner world to this reading. So in your outer world, I'm always going to start off with your outer world for each topic. Your outer world is what you're consciously aware of, what you know. If I were to sit down with you right now, this is the conversation you would have with me. So you're aware of it. Sometimes we need it to be pointed out to us, and I think that's what tarot is all about, is really this is all information that you have inside of you, but it sometimes needs to be pulled out of us and made aware to us, brought to our awareness here. So I'm gonna bring some awareness to what pattern or old habit that you have right now in 2025 that needs to be released so that you can start to bring back your own power, so you can have a taste of your own power. And so the first card I get right here in your outer world, with power is the Justice card. And that's a major arcana, universal force that's around you. And it seems like there's some sort of need for you to get back to your truth, your authenticity, who you are. And it's like this pattern's pulling you. There's been like a pattern maybe that has been pulling you for a while. And you're trying to, there's this balancing act that's been going on with you, I think, where I think there's an intention on your part of getting back to that, of reaching who you really are, and you are a very persistent sign, and you're determined, and I think that's where this is going to come through for you this year, is that I'm determined here to get back to this truth about me, whatever it is, and right behind that is the Moon card. And the Moon card is another, major arcana here. So the Moon speaks about these things that are hidden. Whenever there's a full moon, it's an indication to us that there are some secrets that are going to be revealed. And so I'm seeing here that you are, there's this pattern of yours of seeking your truth and going towards your these secrets that need to be revealed about you. I think that there's something here that's underlying that you want to get to. And you keep going towards it and keep going towards it. But it just doesn't seem to, you're not getting to where you want to go. And so, I think what's here is this Eight of Pentacles here. There's this pull towards your passion and what you want to do. And so that's the pattern I'm seeing with you, is that it keeps coming up. It's like you feel this pull, and then it just kind of, it dies. And I think what needs to happen here and what needs to be shed and needs to be released, it's like, okay, what is this pull? And why every time does it come up for you? Where you're trying to find some truth in it, why does it kind of like dissipate? It goes away and you kind of lose it, and then you go back and we get back into our busy world again, and it'll come up again. So what is it in your inner world here, your unconscious, your shadow, that's really impacting or driving this to come up? What's sitting here that's driving this? Or maybe sometimes it's actually blocking you, or what's healing? What needs healing here around this? And so I see that when you were younger, because this is what your shadow is. It's all those things you've put away about yourself when you were younger, as a young child or even as an adolescent here. In an upright position, the Eight of Swords speaks about this individual that feels very, very trapped. And I'm wondering if you were raised in a situation, a childhood where you felt trapped or you were trapped. And this is very much somebody that's very much up in their head and had, this spinning going around, and things were happening when you were younger and you felt very, very trapped. And I think there's a part of you that gave up, that really gave up when you were younger, because you felt so hopeless. It's like, I don't see a way out of this. And I'm wondering if that's the kind of the spin cycle, this pattern that's happening with you. So every time you get on this seeking for your justice, seeking for your secrets, things that have happened to you, or, right now trying to reveal something, and you're wanting to, go towards your passion, or you just find that you just kind of give up. And then the Lover's card comes right behind this. And so in the middle of your shadow, right after this feeling of giving up, comes the Lover's card. And it's in reverse, and it's a universal force. And, and so it speaks about it in an upright position. It talks about these two individuals. And this is really a card of a big choice here. And so it's really important to understand about the Lover's card what this big choice is. You have these two individuals that are very naked, and so they're vulnerable. And you have the female, the feminine figure looking up into the divine, into a greater power. And the masculine is kind of, you know, staring straight ahead, not looking towards the feminine at all here. And so it's this whole idea of this choice that you had when you were younger. And it's in reverse here, because I think your choice was taken away. And the choice here was that whole thing of, you know, being in your body and being able to live from your body. And when we're younger, when we seem to have like, or when we come from some trauma here, because everybody has trauma, we really can get, you know, get taken out of our body, and we end up in our heads. And we can feel very, very trapped when you were younger, and we can give up. And so I think what happened to you was, because there's a lot of pain that's sitting here right behind this Lover's card. There was too much pain for you when you were younger. And you did give up because you didn't have a choice to stay in your body. Because when we stay in our body, that's when we can feel all our emotions. But you didn't stay in your body. You went up in your head. Our ego will pull us out of our body and put us right up in our heads. And we will continue to stay up there and stay dissociated when we're younger. And even as an adult, we'll carry that into adulthood because it's too painful to be in our bodies. There's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of pain sitting in your shadow here from your childhood. And so every time you think that you're trying to get to this justice, you're trying to get justice in your life, you're trying to get clarity in your life, you hit this block of pain from your childhood that needs to be healed. And that's when you kind of, I guess you can say this card is very much about passion that just kind of dies. The passion to move towards your authenticity, to move towards finding out who you are, just kind of, it's like you hit a brick wall. And that's the pattern, because there's some healing that needs to take place. And so what's your truth? Like what false idea or belief about yourself this year do you need to become aware of? And so what do you believe about yourself right now that's not true? That's false. And then we're going to look at your inner world and why you believe this and where does this illusion come from. So in your outer world, this false illusion that comes to you right now, well, you have this Four of Swords. And this Four of Swords is a card that says, you know, you have a lot going on. Swords is about our mental energy and, you know, these belief systems that we have about ourselves. And you have a lot of pain going on underneath. We've already established that with you. And it's kind of like there's this card that comes out and says, you know, you need some time to take some time out for yourself and to get really grounded and to get quiet. And I think there's this belief about yourself that, you know, you don't maybe deserve to take time out, or you don't want to take time out. And maybe there's this fear to take time out for yourself, but there's this real need here because the Six of Wands comes right behind it. And the Six of Wands is, the number 6 of my deck is a duality. Sixes all have a duality to it. And so on the outside, this card is a card of victory. It looks like he's coming back from a battle here. He's got the victory wreath going on his head and on the top of that wand. And wands is what, you know, takes us to our creative purpose. And this card talks about, you know, on the outside, it looks like, you know, maybe this is you. On the outside, it looks like, you know, things are going okay. And you've maybe convinced yourself that everything's good, you know. But there's this call here for you to get grounded and take some rest here. You are a very grounded sign normally. So you are a sign that needs to take time out and to become grounded. And to feel like you have this connection to yourself where you feel secure and you feel safe. And so we get that connection of feeling safe and secure by grounding ourselves. And I can already see that, you know, there's some real pain in your childhood that needs to be healed. And so you didn't feel secure and safe when you were younger. And I think what you need is to get that. Because this card speaks about, if you were to take this green blanket off, the opposite of this other side to this victory is the loss that's sitting underneath that green blanket. You have some grief here. You have some real grieving here that needs to be done here. But you have this false belief about yourself that it's all good. You know, it's maybe you put on these masks and you show yourself to the world as pretending that everything's good. I don't need time out to feel this grief, but there's some grieving here that needs to be done. I think here you have this false belief that, you know, I think when, this is the Emperor card, it's in reverse. This card is huge. Like it's number 4. It's a solid major arcana card. I call him Mr. Emperor because, you know, he's, you know, in an upright position, he's sitting on this stone chair. He's been here for so long. This particular emperor makes the rules of society. He's got this society that's sitting there behind him. He does not even have to worry. He doesn't have to budge. He hasn't budged. He's made these rules and he knows that these people are going to follow it. And so maybe you come from, you know, a childhood where you've had this really controlling behavior. This individual here who has put all these rules out for you. And you know, he's the rules of society. So maybe society has taught you that there are certain things you can do and certain things that you can do. I think society has taught you that, you know, to put on this mask, that everything's good, you know, when really, here's the 10 of Cups at the end here. Here's this, you know, this offer from the universe. It's kind of like saying, you know, here's this range of emotions. It's a reminder here. The 10 of Cups is this cycle that's a full completion, full range of emotions that's available for you, including grief that needs to happen for you. And I think you're maybe when you were younger, and whether you learned it from society or whether you learned it from a parental figure that taught you, well, no, we don't touch this grief. We don't go near this grief. And that's why you have this belief that, you know, I'm not taking time out to get grounded. I'm not getting still for myself because there's this grief here that wants to come out. But this 10 range, you know, emotions are meant to be felt. There's meant to be come in, and then we feel them, we process them, and we let them go. And that's how we heal. And so I'm going to look at what's really driving this, or what's having the most impact on the reason why you have, you know, you won't get still. And why you've put on this mask of, you know, everything's good. You know, I don't need to take time out and to feel this grief that I need to feel right now. So where does this come from? Well, when you were younger, the 7 of Swords comes out. This is your shadow. In an upright position, the 7 of Swords. Again, swords is our mental energy. And so I want you to think of when you were really young. Could be, you know, like I said, childhood, adolescence. When people that you were raised by, and this could come from society, this could come from your caretakers, this could come from authority figures in your life, where they would throw these almost like these daggers at you, right? And they're mental beliefs. So people would throw daggers at you and say, hey, you're like this, or this is you. Why are you like that? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And we put these things that we learn about ourselves, that other people told us, our belief systems, and we put them away. We put them in our shadow, and they're sitting there, and we continue to believe these. That's what's driving all of this. There is something here. I mean, maybe when you were younger, you were told, because there's some grief that needs to really come out here. Maybe when you were younger, you were told that, you know, maybe you were a crybaby. maybe you were too sensitive. You know, and very much a part of you is an individual that needs that security and needs, like I said, needs that the safety of the people around you. And if you didn't have it, you would have cried out for it for sure. And maybe that's when you were told, you're a crybaby and stop crying. And, so that's where I think it's coming from, because this is in reverse here. And so this really did you in when you were younger. These things that people told you, and you continue to believe them. And here's the star card that comes out in the middle of your shadow. And the star card talks about there's some real healing that needs to take place around these belief systems that you think about yourself. And it's about, dipping your toe into that water. Water on the cards is always about emotions. And just dipping it a little bit, right? Just dipping a little bit. But you've put that away. That healing around those, like I said, where you gave up, and that healing around what people told you needs to take place here. And the last card that comes in is a page. And the pages in my deck, there are 4 of them, is our inner child. And we have more than one inner child. I'm just going to say that right now, because I've been on my own intensive healing journey for my own complex trauma for about 7.5 years now, and I know I have more than one inner child. And this one is the page with the sword in reverse. So you have an inner child, a child here. When they come out, they need healing. This is what needs healing, and this is the child that holds the sword. I just talked about these belief systems that you have about yourself. This is the inner child that holds that pain about all those things that you were told about yourself. And it's sitting here in your shadow. And it holds the pain because you couldn't hold that pain. When these people told you things about yourself when you were younger, you couldn't hold it. They were big things they told you. It hurt. And this child's blocked. It needs to be listened to. It needs to be understood. And it needs healing. And how do we heal our inner child? Well, we grieve. This is the 6 of Wands. Like I said, you pull that green blanket off and you get still and you grieve that pain that inner child of yours is sitting there with all these belief systems about yourself that are not yours. And you need to get still and start to understand, what did people tell you about yourself? That's not true. And so let's move to your purpose. Your purpose here is, your creative purpose is taking that little step. It could be a small little step right now. There could be something you know of that you want to do. There could be something big that you want to do. But sometimes it makes us more visible around people. And we're petrified. We're so much fear in us to take that step for ourselves. It could be something towards what we really want to do. And so let's look at what's blocking you from doing something that you really want to do. And people around you are going to look at you and go, well, what do you want to do this for? You're not going to make money from this. Are you crazy? And I'm going to tell you now the ideas that seem the most crazy are the ideas that you definitely need to go towards. There's this big belief system out there in society that says, if you feel this big fear when you're ready to do something, it's not meant for you. It's the opposite. It's the absolute opposite. When I sat down to do this tarot channel, I can't tell you how many times I turned on that camera and I went, nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it. There was this huge fear in me, this huge block, and I had to go back and continue to heal what that fear, where was that fear coming from that prevented me from talking when the camera came on and reading these cards. It was like, I can't do this. I studied the cards. I was ready for it, and I had done some readings for people and was just like, I can't do this. And I had to go back to that fear. I had to take time out and go back to that fear. And so for you, what is it what's the main obstacle that's going to prevent you in 2025 from moving closer to your creative purpose? what you're meant to do, what you came here to do on this earth. We all are meant to be here for a certain reason. You have the Temperance card. And I think there's this, maybe there's this feeling on your part that, you know, it might come quickly, or it should come quickly, or you're wanting to come quickly, and Temperance comes out here and kind of says, you know, it's a reminder that this is a process. This is going to take some time. And to me, I've learned a lot of things when I've wanted something so badly. I've wanted something to happen. It's like, this is going to come with divine timing. You know, I think it's all about, you know, getting back into your body, taking some stillness, taking some time out. And it's about this, it's a process here. And I know that part of this process here, and I think more than anything, Temperance likes to remind us that it's a process. And the first part of this process that that the universe here is wanting to set up for you is that, you know, here's these two individuals here. This is a very intimate exchange of a cup, of the cup of love, of the cup of wishes, of desires here between. It's a very healing relationship here for you. And this is the beginning of the cup suit. It's number 2. So it's right at the beginning. So there's a real need for a beginning relationship here for you to get intimate. Not with someone else, but to get intimate with you. So it's really time here to, you know, this little journey. There's a journey here that you need to set out on, where it's time for you to get really intimate with yourself. And I think that's why there's a real call up here for you to get still. You know, that's what's going to help you start to begin this relationship of getting intimate with you. And the other, it's not advice, but the other thing that's blocking you is, I think for a long time, the Chariot card comes to us and it talks about your will or your control. And so I think a big part of you has been trying to control an outcome for you. Very, very interesting we talked about this Drifter Shaman's card at the beginning, where it's kind of like it's saying, you know, you need to kind of let things happen. And I think it's a part of you is just kind of a letting go process here, where just allowing things to happen. But there is some little bit of work here that you still need to work on, right? And the big thing is this Control card. I find that we can be up in our heads and try to control and understand our next step and our destination. And that can take us only so far. And then we hit this brick wall here. Like this charioteer he's hit a brick wall. I mean, he's turning into cement. His chariot's not moving. These sphinxes aren't moving. They're looking in 2 different directions here. And so this is a number 7 in the major arcana, and 7s is talking about this introspection, and it's time for this introspection on your part, and it's really asking you now to start to go inwards and to find out, you know, who are you, to turn inwards and start and finding out, you know, who are you, because there's a purpose there for you. There's a new step for you, a new direction for you. You may not know what it is, but I think you're kind of feeling the call, because you've been feeling it up here. Like I said, above, when your Justice card, when it came out, there's something here that's hidden for you, and it's your passion. It's your passion. And so this whole reading has kind of been, you know, trusting in that process, going inwards. And I think there's something that's going to be revealed maybe to you in 2025 for your next step. But we need to look at first, you know, what's blocking this? What's blocking you from going inwards? What's blocking you from starting that relationship with you? This intimate relationship with you. Well, in your shadow, in your unconscious, you have this beautiful 3 of Wands card. Look at this universe, this hand of the universe that's holding this little child. in their hands. There's a big trust factor here. And the Three of Wands speaks about going into having a plan of where you need to go next. Well, that's sitting in your unconscious, you know? So there's a big like trust factor here on your part that you lost when you were younger. You know, we knew who we were meant to be or what direction we were supposed to go in when we were younger. And we can get this Emperor that comes out and just kind of squashes all that and says, you know, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's a stupid idea. You know, put that all away. And so I'm seeing here that, you know, this trust is kind of buried here in your shadow. So maybe you have a lot of difficulty trusting that there actually is something else. Secrets here being revealed to you, that there's something else towards your passion out there for you. And that's a big part of our journey, is to trust. And the next card, oh, beautiful. I pulled this first Queen out, which is the Queen of Cups. And it, you know, I struggled with it for a while, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try one more time. Maybe there's one more card. I always like to pull 2 cards out for clarity. And then a second Queen came out, the Queen of Wands. So powerful here. Powerful. The queens in my deck talk about our feminine energy, feminine side to us. We all have a masculine and a feminine side. Our masculine side is this Emperor right here, is like our ego. It's the one that tells us, you know, all these things in our head that you can't do this, don't bother, all these things that will block us from doing what we want to do. That's our masculine side. It's only worried about, you know, going in the direction of things that will make money for us, or, you know, it doesn't want anything to do with our creative side. And here you have the creative side of you with this, the Wand energy, this, and you also have your emotions here, right? Which would be your grief, big emotions here. The Queen of Cups is the queen that would feel all her emotions, and she would be very much in her body and use her gut instinct, her intuition to guide her, right? Both of these queens would do that here. So your inner guidance of where you need to go is buried here in your shadow. So there was a big part of you that, you know, when you were younger, that really shut all of that down. Your creativity, your, like I said, your emotions, your gut feeling of where you need to go here. And I think that's why there's such a big pull here for you to take that stillness, take that time out for you to get still, this Four of Swords here, and really get into, okay, this year, Taurus, because you are, like I said, you are a fixed earth sign. So you are a sign that needs to be very grounded in order to take your life into that direction you're supposed to. You're normally a grounded sign. And so I think it's really important for you to get still and to become grounded and to just kind of allow yourself to be that drifter. When you get grounded, it's not about controlling things with your mind anymore. And so for this reading, I'm going to leave you with, first of all, an animal spirit card that I pulled out for you. And I pulled out the Electric Eel Spirit. Beautiful card that says, bring your ideas to life. Seemingly out of nowhere, the jolt of Electric Eel Spirit appears to awaken you to a big idea that you are meant to explore. I know. Here's the Moon card. These things that are hidden, that are wanting to come out. And here's Eel Spirit. Epiphanies and aha moments are gifted to you right now. So celebrate. Your life has the potential for profound transformation. Inspiration arises in you, electrifying you so that you can't wait to get started, bringing your idea to life. The revelations you experience now are meant to set you on a new path. So do not be afraid to act. Powerful, powerful, powerful. The Eel Spirit for you. And then this Dark Goddess Tarot. I'm really excited to see what this is going to be for you. This is the Hag of Water. It's pronounced Ron. So Ron is the Norse goddess of the drowned. Now, at the bottom of my page here, there's something that says, surrender to the sea to find her great places. And I got to bring this out, this drifter card here. Very much a card of a reading of surrender. So Ran is the Norse goddess of the ocean and the goddess of the drowned. She lives at the bottom of the sea with her husband, the god Rozear, and their 9 daughters, the 9 maidens of the waves. The fishes and beasts of the sea are her flocks and herds. The Vikings love and fear the sea in equal measure, for the ocean brings them riches, power, and glory, but also death, suffering, and destruction. So when Ron appears in your reading, it asks you to stop fighting an inexorable tide. Position yourself to take advantage of the movement as best as you can and go with it as you must. There is something going on below the surface, something big that will change everything. Watch for the signs of a sea change. Wow. So, definitely a transformative year for you, Taurus. Ride the wave. There's something here for you. We've talked about it with this Justice card coming up again. Secrets wanting to be revealed. Passion coming out. Your next move is coming out for you. But you need to get grounded to know and to be able to take your life in that direction once you find out what it is for you. Maybe you know. So I think it's time to end this reading, and I want you to know that I want you to have compassion for yourself, Taurus, for what you're working through this year. This is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.